thought. I want to know you more.
Good morning. Thank you for it's pleasure being here. I must say that ek's 'n regte boertjie, so if I miss a English word now and then, he told me you do understand some English, so it's good. I was wondering, the one phrase we have sing here is, Jesus, I love you, I love you. I was wondering if you truly believe it. Do you truly can say, Jesus, I love you? I don't know about you, but sometimes, so my topic for today is, in Afrikaans is verander jou wêreld, so English, whatever it's in English, it's that word. Change your world, yeah. So today we are going to change your world, and I want to challenge you. The Bible verse I'm using is Jeremiah 29 verse 11, and I believe that all of us know it. So when something hard in the life happens, someone will always send a picture to you. It's Jeremiah 29 verse 11, and on it is flowers, and it's decorated very beautifully. And basically it said, I know the plans I have for you, but it's good plans. And I just want to remind you again, do you truly love Jesus? We have heard what happened in China, and I wonder how it must be to go to jail for Jesus. I was wondering in a time like this, if you are willing to die for Jesus. But most of all, are you willing to live for Jesus? And I know I sound a little bit hard, but sometimes it's also necessary. The advance of visiting, he can say something that a pastor not always can say. And it don't mean a pastor agree with it. It just means that sometimes you need to just hear something from a different point of view. I was giving my testimony at a church, and afterwards the pastor WhatsApped me and he said, yes, amazing feeling. Two of the people in the church promised a huge amount of money to the church, and they put it in the testament. I think that's the Engelse word, ne? Testament. The will. And then I was feeling very disappointed because it means that I didn't give my message right. Because if I have given my message right, you will not give God something when you die. You will give him it while you are living. And when it comes to our tithes, can you truly sing, Jesus, I love you, I love you? Or do we sometimes just cheat along the line? You don't need to answer it. I was 5 years old when my mom gave me money to buy sweets, and when I come back, my mom was gone. My mom never kissed me, she never hugged me, and my mom never greeted me. As a young boy of 5 years old, you don't understand the things between husband and wife, divorce. You look for the mistake here. You wonder what you have done wrong that your own mom don't want you. Maybe you didn't eat your vegetables. Maybe you use crayons to write on the wall. What's wrong with you that your own mom choose to have a husband above you? And sometimes you think in this perfect new families you have, does he have another boy? And when she look at the other boy, do she think about you? My father used to drink. In fact, my father was an alcoholic. And if it sounds that I'm talking negative about my dad, it's not true. My dad is my hero. Until today, the only thing, if it was not for the alcohol, I really had a perfect dad. So my father, when he comes back from work at night, he will make us food. and run once around the block with us, and then my father will start to drink. But when my father starts to drink, he will not stop until he's, I don't know what's the English word for that, but he's flat out on the bed. And my father used to work in a prison, so he was tattooed fully. And a good memory of me is when I used to take Cokie penna and just do some colorings on his tattoos. And you know, if someone is very drunk, the limbs move freely. So if you want to color this side, you can just move the arm to color the whole picture. He's having a color book and you can touch it. And unfortunately, my father drinks so lot that I was sent to an orphanage. And I remember the day when we went to the orphanage, my father used to drink Klipdrift and Rietzelo. That's the only things he drank. And I saw him with the bottle and I was wondering, why do he loves alcohol more than me? If my father truly loved me, he can stop drinking. But he didn't. I remember my first day in the orphanage, I fight it. And I never stopped to fight. For some of the people in this congregation, my message is very hard, but it's truly from the heart. And it's sometimes good to also hear it. In Standard 4, I used to go out on the streets and assault black people. Fridays and nights, I will just beat them. They didn't do anything wrong. They didn't steal anything. They didn't do anything wrong. I will just beat them. But it was not enough. Later on, it was Sundays and Wednesdays, and later on, every night I will go out. The AWB used to have a motto, white by night. And at night, I will go out, look for a black person, and assault him. And he didn't do anything wrong. In our school, on Thursdays, we wear military uniform and ons het kadette geoefen. I don't know what's that in English. And Boeta wou border toe gaan. Each boy who grew up in my school wanted to go to war to fight for the freedom of my people. In our school, there was pop-ups with hand grenades and landmines and kleefmyne, so that we must know how it looks when the enemy attack us. And the enemy were always them. I was brought up, ons en hulle, we and them. There was a farm murder, and our group decided that this is enough. For every farm murder, we are going to plant a bomb. For every time a farmer dies, someone else will die. I went to Worcester, and we planted there 2 bombs. Killed people, and 3 children died. I handed myself over to the police, and in the first 4 years of my sentence, I was in 11 prisons, and totally I was 19 years in prison, spent it in 13 prisons countrywide. And I was so proud of myself. I regarded myself as a boere hero, because it's them and us, them and us. We fight to them. And the guy who was my neighbor in this site was Eugene de Kok, and he used to talk about forgiveness with me, but forgiveness didn't work with me. Because they killed us, we killed them, and that was life. It never worked for me. But in prison, it's compulsory to see a psychologist and a social worker. And one day when I was there, standing on a wall, an old lady said, "Jesus loves you." And I said, "I don't believe in Jesus," but I used very strong Afrikaans to express my hatred in it. And she still said, "Jesus loves you." Before I continue, I just want to give you some pointers. A young boy, when your mom leaves you, you don't believe in Jeremiah I know the plans I have for you. When your father is an alcoholic, you don't believe it. When you're in an orphanage, you don't believe it. When you are serving 40 years imprisonment, you don't believe it. And you also don't believe in Jesus, because he was not there when you needed him, when your mom left. He was not there when you prayed, Here, asseblief, let my dad stop drinking. He was not there in an orphanage when you hugged your pillow to feel just that you belong somewhere. And he was not there in prison. So that's why I hated this Christian religion. And a few months later I had visit, and this old lady gave me a Christian book, Our Daily Bread, and I threw it in the dustbin to show her how much I hate the Christian religion. And as me and Eugene talked about forgiveness, it sounds short, but it's many years. I never planned to change my life. I was happily to be who I was. They killed us, we killed them. And one day, on 10 August 2007, I was reading a book, The Fifth Mountain. And that night, God had an appointment with me. And when I gave my heart to the Lord, the one thing I needed to sort it out was, if I die today and I go to heaven, will there be a board that says white only? If the boards of whites only is in heaven, I didn't sin. But I know in my heart, as you guys also know it, that's why you do outreach, that God is a God of all people. And I know that I have sinned against God, I have sinned against people, and I have sinned against myself. The first person who visited me is Mama Olga, and when I was in the toilet, I saw the poster with the date 10 September. It's also her birthday today. And her first words to me was, I'm not here to forgive you. Afterwards, she forgave me. But more than that, she said, come here, my boy. And she hugged me. That moment that black old mama hugged me, she healed the wound that was inside me for the hug that my mama never gave me. I also saw the people of, ek weet nie wat is moskee in Engels nie. Mosque bombings, and then afterwards I also went to Worcester where I had 6 VODs. There was also a peace train, they called it as a peace train, where people forgave me. And when I was in Worcester, I had 6 VODs. VOD stands for Victor Offender Dialogue, and in the biggest group were 1,000 people, and all of them except one lady forgave me. When so many people forgive a sin, it's only by the grace of God. I'm going to tell you that I don't know if I would have done the same. In fact, our boertjies, we hate the English for what happened 100 and how many years ago. We cannot forgive them. How if someone forgives you? And I want to stand still here. It's a mom on a Sunday who puts the table down with the food, and they shorts one plate because I killed the daughter. It is a father who will never have a sweet 16. It's a father who will never carry his daughter or walk his daughter in a church in a white dress because I killed her. It's a father who will never teach his boy to shave, to tie a tie, to drive a car because I killed him. It's the doctor who works in the hospital and could not have saved all the lives. It's the sister who have taken the bodies out. It's the people who were on their way to the shopping center. And it's the people who just left. And you know how we were. As humans, we say, that kan ons gewees het. It could have been us. And all of them forgave me except one woman. And she asked, can I express how I truly feel? And she said, I hate you with a passion. And she didn't tell me anything new. In fact, she reminded me who I truly am, because my mom hated me. My father hated me because he chose alcohol above me. In fact, I also hated myself. I went back to prison to complete my sentence. 2 years later, an offender came to me and he asked me, do you know Deo Coetzee? So my real name is not Stefaans, it's Daniel. And I said, yes, he's me. He said, your name appears on a parole board. But I never appear on a parole board. I go in, I sign a form, and I complete my sentence. And they said that this lady who said, I hate you, is there. And she asked the parole board to give me a second chance in life. I really want you to truly think how difficult it is for a man to go to your wife and say, I'm sorry. How truly difficult it is for a father to go to his kids and say, I'm sorry. How much worse it is if you have killed someone. There's no greater love for a person if you killed his sister, her sister, and she asked the parole board, please give him a second chance in life. The same woman who have said, I hate you with a passion, asked the parole board to give me a second chance in life. I remember then when I had my parole, I stayed another 7 days in prison. Because when they sent me home, they forget that prison is my home. I was so long in prison. I was brought up in prison. You cannot just tell me, go home. Prison is my home. I understand gangs. I understand smuggling. I don't understand a house with love. In fact, in my cell, it was forbidden to bring in a huisgenoot, because when you paid it, you will see a father, a husband, a wife, and a kid. And that Sunday, one of the members told me, Stefaans, if you don't leave the prison tomorrow, you must complete your sentence. But where do I go? One of my friends went to my mother and told her that I qualify for parole, but I don't have a house. But my mom never told people she had a son. So I stayed in prison for 6 months. In the morning I can leave prison, and at night I sleep in prison. And in that time I met my mom, and I remember the first day I was walking in my mom's house. I was looking for something to tell me that she still thought that she had a son. But there was nothing. I saw pictures, 3 pictures about my sisters. I saw pictures of my sister's children, but there was nothing about me. It is almost like my mom have cut me out of her existence. I still wash my mom's feet, and I forgave her. My mom decided that on the age of 38, she still didn't want a son. I was renting a woonstel. A flat. I was renting a flat, and the first thing I bought myself were curtains, so that when people pass, they must not see I have nothing. I was walking to work. I was working in the townships, Alabama, Joburg, Kuma, 20 Ks, 30 Ks, 10 Ks. And I was walking back. But every day I was proud of myself because I was not going to a crime scene. My salary was 4,500 rand. After I paid my rent and electricity, the money was 127 rand that I have left for food. And if you go to Spar, you can realize the only thing you can buy is bread. nothing else. But every day I can still say, God is goed, God is great. As time progresses, sorry man, my English is difficult, so as time progresses, I must actually also stand still here. When I was released from prison for the first time in 19 years, I could take out my shoes and walk on grass. Barefoot. For the first time in 19 years, I can see a tree and touch it. For the first time in 19 years, I can see a flower and smell it. When I was released from prison, I was shocked to see that how many people, even people in churches, are in a prison. We are in a prison here and here. Here we are in a prison of what people told us about ourselves. And sometimes that person is you. But you are not what people tell you you are. You are a child of God. I also have realized that people carry things in the heart and not let go. And in prison, I was holding my bars, and I know one day someone will open the cell. Today I meet people, they have the parole key in their hands to forgive someone, but they choose not to forgive. They choose to have the regret. I was also shocked when I was released of prison, I don't know here, where I'm staying, that racism is still alive. In our town, it's there. And it's something that we must work to as communities, and it's nice to see that people are mixing. 6 years in my parole, I must just say, here's not a lot of men here, but for the first time in 19 years, I was walking in a shop and I see a woman and I thought, wow, you are so beautiful. As I turn the corner, I see another woman and I thought, wow, you are so beautiful. And you know, woman is smelling nice and you want to touch, but touch is a sin, so you can only look. But when I saw my wife, God really took his time to craft her. She's very, very beautiful. Prince sing a song, you must be the reason God created a woman, and that's my wife. But I want to go back to Jeremiah. The day I was released of prison, that verse have made it sense. I have plans for you. Even if the life on parole were not easy, I can promise you it was not easy. The day I had met my wife, and you can know as a killer to go to a woman, very beautiful, who can have any man and say, hey, I would like to take you on a coffee date, is not easy. Ask her to marry you is a little bit more taking courage. But the day when my wife said, yes, I will marry you, I know Jeremiah, I have plans for you, is so true. 1 year after that, I had the privilege to hold my baby in this hands that built a bomb, planted a bomb, and I knew that words, I have plans for you, was fulfilled. For me, the biggest present in life, for me, the gift in life is my baby boy. I work 8 hours, so the agreement at home is when I only have 3 hours, because you know they sleep early. I change the diaper, I bath him, I walk with him at night. My wife didn't do breastfeeding, so that I can also carry him at night. I also just wanted to give him the one thing that I never had. And that's family. Family for me is very, very important. I want to close down with 2 thoughts. There's a poem in a prison that they said that an inmate was standing out and he was looking through the bars and he saw a swallow flying. And he asked him, swallow, swallow, how does it feel to be free? And the swallow said, you disappoint me because you are human and humans have the ability to pray. And only prayer can set you free. If there's anything, and even if you are Christian, and even if you give your heart to the Lord, if you feel that maybe today is the day that you need to set that prisoner free, to use that parole key, today is the day. Then I want to come to my what's it in English? Change your world. In prison, I have painted a board and I wrote on it, change start here, not meaning prison. Prison cannot change you. They have the best psychologists, the best social workers, but you need to be willing to change. Then you can change. And that is where we are today. We need to change. You need to change your world. You need to take responsibility for it. I don't know who you are. I don't know with what you struggle with. Maybe it's financial. Maybe it's sickness. Maybe it's things that are not happy in the marriage. Maybe it's a child that used drugs. Maybe it's abuse. I don't know what it is. The only thing I know for certain, if God can give a bomber, a racist, a murderer, a second chance in life, there's nothing you struggle with that is too big for His glory. He can save you and He wants to save you. I would love to bless you. I want to bless you with love in family and friendship, because we need it. I would love to bless you in health. COVID has taught us how important it is to have health. I would love you to bless you with money, because we need money to survive. But most of all, I want to bless you in your soul, so much that if you enter a room, that the people can feel the love of God. I want to end that. If you want to change your world, even if you are a Christian, and you know there's that one thing that it's time to put down. That's that one thing to let go. Today is the day. Thank you so much.